Have you ever noticed a strange phenomenon? The people who know the least about a topic often scream the loudest that they know everything. Meanwhile, the people who actually study day and night are the ones asking, do I really know anything at all? It feels backward, doesn't it? Logic says that competence should come from competence. But in reality, we often see the opposite. The least competent people stand on a soapbox with 100% certainty, while the true experts are sitting in the corner, filled with doubt. This isn't just a personality quirk, it's a psychological. Enter two psychologists from Cornell University, David Dunning and Justin Kruger. In 1999, they decided to investigate this mystery. They asked one simple burning question: why do people who are incompetent not know that they are incompetent? To find out, they ran an experiment. They took a group of university students and tested them in 3 specific areas: logic, grammar, and humor. Yes, they actually tested people on how funny they were. After the test, they asked the students to predict how well they did compared to everyone else. The results were mind-blowing. The students who scored in the bottom 25%, the ones who failed hard, believed they were in the top 40%. They completely overestimated their ability. On the flip side, the geniuses who scored in the top 25% actually underestimated themselves. They assumed, because the test was easy for them, it must have been easy for everyone else. This journey creates a very specific curve. When you start learning, you race up to the peak of Mount Stupid. You know a little, but you feel like you know everything. But if you keep learning, you crash down into the Valley of Despair when you realize how complicated things actually are. Eventually, with hard work, you climb the slope of enlightenment and reach the plateau of sustainability. This is where true experts live, humble, aware, and realistic. You've definitely seen this in real life. It's the guy who buys one stock and thinks he's Warren Buffett. It's the person who reads one WebMD article and diagnoses you better than a doctor. It's the coder who watched 2 tutorials and thinks software engineering is easy. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing because it gives you the illusion of expertise. This explains the difference between the loud amateur and the quiet expert. The amateur doesn't know what they don't know, so they feel safe. The expert knows exactly how vast the subject is, so they realize how little they actually grasp. As the saying goes, the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. But why does this happen? Dunning and Kruger called it a metacognitive failure, or the double curse. First, you lack the knowledge to be good at the subject. Second, and this is the kicker, because you lack the knowledge, you also lack the ability to realize that you're bad at it. You literally cannot see your own blind spots. So, why is this dangerous? Because people stuck on Mount Stupid make bad decisions with total certainty. They refuse to learn because they think they've already arrived. And worst of all, they resist feedback because they think the critics are the ones who are wrong. The only way out? Be humble, keep learning, and always ask yourself, am I an expert, or am I just standing on top of Mount Stupid? So, if our own brains are biologically wired to trick us into feeling smarter than we are, how do we escape? How do we make sure we aren't the ones standing on Mount Stupid without a clue? It starts by looking in the mirror and asking a very uncomfortable question. Could I be wrong? The first step out of the trap is intellectual humility. You have to get comfortable saying 3 magic words. I don't know. Admitting ignorance isn't a weakness. It's the absolute foundation of intelligence. You cannot fill a cup that you already believe is full. Go back to the basics. Step 2 is the hardest part. You need a reality check. Don't just seek validation from friends who already agree with you. You need to actively hunt for negative feedback. Find someone smarter than you and ask them to tear your ideas apart. It will bruise your ego, yes, but that pain is necessary. That's the feeling of your blind spots being revealed. Step 3, embrace the grind. Real expertise doesn't come from watching a 10-minute tutorial. It's a long, slow climb up the slope of enlightenment. It is often tiring, confusing, and humbling. But if you want real results, you have to respect the ladder of learning. If you keep climbing, eventually you reach the plateau of sustainability. This is where true competence lives. And notice something? It's quiet up here. Real experts don't need to shout with a megaphone to prove they are smart. Their confidence is calm because it's earned through experience. They know what they know, and more importantly, they respect what they don't know. And ultimately, that is the choice we face every single day when trying to learn something new. Do you want the loud, fragile, ignorant confidence of the amateur? Or do you want the quiet, resilient skill of the master? So, the next time you feel 100% certain about a complex topic, pause and remember that the smartest person in the room is usually the one who is still asking questions.